Welcome back to Stache Club Wrestling. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Today we are doing a brand new game. This is Jimmy's brainchild. Today we are doing a game that we like to call the wrestling equivalent game. Basically, we asked a bunch of you on Twitter to give us a person, place, thing, idea, event in history, anything that happened outside of wrestling, and we are going to take that thing and try to relate it to the world of wrestling, right? You'll kind of see how it goes as we go along, but before we get started, please make sure you subscribe, leave your likes, leave your comments. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for a bonus wrestling Q&A podcast over there. We have merchandise in the description, and we have a WWE Fanatics affiliate link, so if you want to pick up something, please use our link. It helps out the show. With that said, Jimmy, I'm ready to get started. Let's look at the first one here. What is the wrestling equivalent to what appears to be the infamous Derrick Rose knee injury? I have some ideas. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
So, I'm wearing the Chicago Bulls jacket today. Derrick Rose, point guard, Chicago Bulls, had all the potential in the world, but then, of course, had this devastating knee injury. But then, of course, when he came back, he was never really the same. So how can we bring this to wrestling?
It's not exactly the same, but in recent, I think, of CM Punk getting injured at the Royal Rumble, where granted, it's mainly because he got injured and then couldn't continue in that same year and couldn't maybe lead himself to the championship or something. Yeah. Granted, he did come back and he did main event WrestleMania, so it's not necessarily that career ending sort of, or career
altering,
or career altering, prime career ending sort of thing.
Yeah,
but that's as close as I am now. Someone
shout out Alec too. This is my guy Alec.
Okay.
How about this? We go Mr. Kennedy. I thought this guy when I was a young lad. I thought this guy was gonna be the next big thing. I loved him. The microphone, Kennedy, all that jazz. He was Money in the Bank. He had the world by the balls, but then he had an injury, and then they booked it where Edge took his briefcase. He then, of course, Ultimate Opportunist cashed in, stole Kennedy's moment. And then, Kennedy, actually the injury wasn't that serious. So unfortunately, Kennedy came back quickly after, but it was never really the same. And then, of course, left WWE, never returned, which I think is a huge shame. Just like kind of Derrick Rose had a pretty solid career in TNA, whatever. But, definitely, I always think, what if Kennedy,
I think that's the answer. I think you nail it, to be honest. I think that's better than the CM Punk one. All right, we'll move on. Next one, we have the Luka trade. Luka Doncic going to the Los Angeles Lakers. I'd imagine the closest we can get here is maybe AEW to WWE or WWE to AEW. I was thinking WWE to AEW, but you're more of a basketball guy. Yeah. Would you say that he, because he went with LeBron, it seems like he just went to the step up in terms of maybe a bigger and more roster powerful sort of WWE-esque.
He definitely went to a better situation.
Okay.
I think the return too was definitely something to be critical about. Like the Mavericks got Anthony Davis, which is a solid player, but definitely not the value of Luka. So definitely maybe a bit of a lopsided trade this could be. I go back to excited. Actually, I'm not going to AEW. I'm going Raw and SmackDown back in the good old days.
Okay.
Triple H got drafted to SmackDown back in 2004. And then they immediately traded him back to Raw, and the return was the Dudley Boys and Booker T for Triple H.
Oh, wow.
And Booker T, a phenomenal wrestler. We love him, but he's definitely not at the same juncture, at least in the career-wise at that point, as Triple H. Triple H kind of at that point was the Luka Doncic of the WWE. Even saying that sounds so weird, but he was. I think he was one of the best wrestlers in the company, and you didn't really get the super good value back, Booker T and the Dudley Boys, but definitely something solid. So I go with Triple H for Booker T and the Dudley Boys.
Similar thinking. What about even an early career SmackDown John Cena going over to Raw? And then kind of progressing his career in Raw, WWE Championships, his monumental feuds with Edge and Orton, kind of surpassing his SmackDown time. Another one I kind of think of more recently is maybe a Jade Cargill going from AEW to WWE.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Other side of the coin is maybe a Bryan Danielson, WWE to AEW.
Sure.
Yeah, those are interesting. Those are good ones. All right, Jimmy, let's figure out the wrestling equivalent to what this person says is the greatest band of all time, Green Green Day.
Do you agree with that statement?
No, I like Green Day. I don't think they're the greatest band of all time.
Yeah, me too. I do like Green Day. American Idiot, and then 21 Guns. I think I can name maybe a couple more songs. I'm not the biggest fan of Green Day, but they're all right. So what do you think? Like a faction? You think they would mirror?
I'm thinking of like a faction that's kind of pop punk-esque. The one that came to mind immediately, it's not the greatest comparison because it's not like they were the greatest faction. Like I think like Green Day is a monumental, historic. I actually think I have it. I was gonna say Riot Squad because they kind of had a little bit of that like punk rock with Ruby Riot. However, maybe more appropriately, The Brood.
Oh, okay.
Just as a general idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Again, I'm not the super biggest fan of Green Day. Of course, you have the name Day in it. You go New Day. And maybe I'll get some heat for this, but I actually enjoyed them more than other people. Do you know about the X Factor?
X Factor.
You're dealing with the X Factor. It's X-Pac, Just Incredible, and Albert. Very short-lived faction.
Whoa.
Very short-lived faction.
Jesus Christ.
Kind of random, but that's where I think the equivalent. I'm going Green Day. For me personally, Green Day is kind of like the X Factor.
Wow. All right, Jimmy, what is the wrestling equivalent to Michael Jackson first performing the moonwalk? So how I'm taking this is like, who's maybe a young wrestler at the time that maybe the first time they hit their finisher.
Okay.
And it's like, whoa, that's the blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's how I'm taking
Many
this.
people consider Michael Jackson to be the greatest of all time, so maybe you have to equivalate that in the equation. Can you moonwalk?
No, absolutely no. I've like definitely tried learning, and then I've learned that. I've tried to learn that. You try to learn like the TikTok dance with like the feet going this way, whatever. I can't do any of it.
How about The Undertaker doing his first old school?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you went old school. I like that.
Kind of some footwork, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because maybe it could be kind of like, or the first time Rikishi danced, hit the dance with fucking Too Cool. Not that I have this exact instance in mind, but the first time maybe John Cena hit the FU.
Okay.
Kind of just like whoa, what was that? Oh, we hit the... First time Logan Paul hit the pulverizer.
No, Logan Paul wishes he was the Michael Jackson equivalent of in wrestling, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm sticking with Taker doing the old school, or a Jeff Hardy Swanton Bomb, or the first time he did that. Or I
think there's a lot you can plug in here in terms of that, like big star doing their famous move for the first time. Heck
yeah.
All right, next one is the 28-3 Patriots versus Falcons Super Bowl, where the Patriots made their comeback to win the big one. So we're kind of talking in my head, this is like WrestleMania, someone came back from a deficit to somehow win. Granted, the Patriots at the time were still the Patriots, so it's all right, I think I got something.
Let's hear it.
I got Daniel Bryan beating Evolution to win both titles. He's the American Dragon still. He is still that guy, especially to like the indies or hardcore fans or whatever. On paper, you're against two of the greatest. He's the underdog at 28-3, regardless of whatever team you are the underdog. Came back to win it. Won the title. That's where I'm at.
Okay, Patriots. This was hell for me. I'm not a Patriots fan. I hate the Patriots, if you will.
Wow.
So this was like painful to watch. I will acknowledge though, this was the greatest Super Bowl of all time.
There's a reply here that says Cena Brock at SummerSlam.
I like the John Cena thing because John Cena Patriots. Wes Newberry kind of 16-time champion. So yeah, how about John Cena losing to The Rock at WrestleMania 28, getting his lick back at WrestleMania 29. He was down a bit, but then he kind of made the comeback and overcame the huge deficit and conquered like the Patriots always conquer.
Long-term storytelling. All right, this next one here, we have an object, maybe our hardest one of the day, just straight up harvest/farm equipment, and then there is a Sophie reply that says yes.
I wonder why Sophie loves that so much.
She loves farms.
Oh, really? Okay, good to know.
So instantly I go to like the easiest one would be who had a farm gimmick. I feel like there was definitely like a way older school wrestler that had like the overalls and a farm sort of gimmick. And okay, this is what I was thinking of.
The Godwins.
Henry Godwin. The Godwins.
Oh, and Hillbilly Jim too.
Sure, that's where that's where I'm at.
But you got to think like it's an object though. It's farm equipment.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to do like object to object. You know what I mean?
Truth.
I'm thinking obscure here. Yeah. Oh yeah, this guy's wearing a John Deere hat. Yeah, this is my pick for sure. Henry Godwin specific.
So I'm gonna try to think. I'm gonna try to bring it to like. Let's say, okay, you're a farmer. You need farm equipment. You're a wrestler. You need
Oh, okay. I like the way you're
You
thinking.
need a good promo. So maybe like this farm equipment kind of
That's
like
where I thought you were going.
oh really, your tractor trailer, your truck, like that's your promo. Or maybe like the way you can train, maybe the performance center, if you will. I don't know. This is kind of a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna go your promo.
Yeah, like maybe even like in the performance center, like some sort of like maybe a mat that they can fall on, like some sort of training equipment.
Yeah.
Huh. Something to make their in-ring better. That's interesting.
You want to grow. I don't know.
All right, so next one is Dale Sr. finally winning the Daytona 500 after 20 years of trying. I didn't know that. I know obviously, Dale Sr. and, everything that happened, and maybe one of the best, if not the best NASCAR driver of all time. I didn't know it took him 20 years to win the Daytona 500. I assumed he was like knocking out W's.
Right, that's a grind, man. 20 years and then winning the big one.
All right, so kind of maybe the obvious where I'm thinking is a wrestler who's been great, but just couldn't reach that, as they say, the brass ring. It took him a long time to finally get it. Is kind of where I'm at.
And kind of a Dale Sr. probably the most beloved driver. How about Mankind winning his first
that's a good
championship? One of the biggest pops of all time.
I think that's a great one.
The fans loved Mankind, Mick Foley. Probably one of the biggest moments ever. I think this was probably one of the biggest moments ever in NASCAR.
All right, I'm going to go pretty similar thinking. I think it's also been, trial and error, probably close to 20 years of trying. I'm going Cody Rhodes, winning the WWE Championship, WrestleMania 40.
Finishing his story.
Finally winning it, finished his story.
Oh, that's a good one.
Always wanted to win it. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so next one I chose a little selfishly. We got a Raspy Taylor album release. So a little context, there hasn't really been an album release. I put out like projects in like high school and college, but I don't think those are on the internet anymore.
But never an album.
Never an album. So it's the waiting. But I'm gonna take this as kind of like when it happens. This is kind of future looking, even though it kind of like breaks the rules of this game. So I'm just gonna simply just go with when John Cena released his album.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's kind of the easiest one. You could also take it as like, oh, it's a long time coming. It's hasn't been put out or whatever.
How about if?
Ooh, I got another one too.
If you only, because again, you've only put out singles and they're all bangers. I can attest because I know bangers.
Appreciate it.
How about it's if like Bad Bunny wrestled full time?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That. That's actually such a good comparison. I like that. The other one I was thinking is Chad Gable not winning the world title yet. He's had great singles matches. He's had all-time bangers, but he hasn't had the one yet.
The big run.
He hasn't done the big run. He hasn't put out that big one yet,
Yes.
That's funny. Those are good ones. All right, this next one is the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
Iconic.
I'll tell you this, Napoleon Dynamite in my letterbox top 4 for like years. I just refreshed my top 4, but yeah, I love Napoleon Dynamite. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Just the dance though. So you got to think maybe the equivalent of that specific dance.
Ooh, okay.
Or what it means to the movie, because it was a pretty big part of the movie.
Oh, I feel like I gotta do some Googling. I feel like there was like how either like the Funkadactyls would like they do like a dance off and they'd get like people to like do funny dances. Like there's been so many dance offs in wrestling, but you have to kind of think like good versus silly versus bad or whatever,
Oh, okay. So I got 2.
Okay.
And I can't decide which one I want to go with, but how about the Spinaroonie?
Ooh.
Booker T. And like you said, I don't know, when you said getting other people to do
that's
it,
a great one.
I immediately think of like the Raw after and like them trying to get the Undertaker to do it. Kind of fun. I also thought of the Worm, Scotty Too Hotty.
Yeah. See, I was kind of thinking like for some reason I thought like was there a time that like Michael Cole got invited to the ring to do a dance off or something like that?
Or maybe did you ever see him freestyle rap? Him and Jim Ross.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the worst.
Yeah. Those are the 2 picks. I think those are good ones. I can't think of like a specific.
How about Orange Cassidy match? Kind of the nonchalant, coolness.
That's a really good one too. Oh, I think you nailed Napoleon Dynamite. That's a great one. Couple of replies here. Oh, someone said Otis's Caterpillar. Someone said Shane McMahon's dance, the CEO dance. Ooh, the Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, no, that's the answer. That's the freaking answer right there, pal.
Funny. I like the Orange Cassidy one. I think the Orange Cassidy one's really good. Maybe that's Napoleon Dynamite as a whole.
Sure.
As opposed to just the dance specifically. All right, those are good ones. All right, this next one is what is the wrestling equivalent to sliced bread? The best thing since, I hear.
Right, okay.
All right, I have maybe a simple answer.
Okay.
I also like found out like sliced bread like isn't that old. Like sliced bread like was invented like fairly recently.
Yes, but a pretty revolutionary invention.
Like this can't be right. Sliced bread was invented in 1928. So like what were they doing before? You know what I mean?
Big old loaves.
Yeah.
Cut it yourself.
My take, it's someone who changed the business, reformed wrestling for what it would be since then, and I would say is a pioneer. I'm going the sliced bread of wrestling is Bruno Sammartino, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. I'm kind of like on I have two things in my brain, and I think the first one's the better one, and kind of aligns with you a little bit. I'm just going chin lock. Imagine the first
simple, just very simple.
Imagine the first bloke that threw out a chin lock, and how that's probably the greatest thing.
And that's what started wrestling, that first chin lock or whatever. That's a good one too. Yeah.
And then I also have
simple moves, right? It's a good way to think.
Greatest things to sliced bread, just how important it is and how great it is. The NXT Women's Division.
Oh, hell yeah. That's bread. A nice way to do it too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, those are good answers. A lot of ways to take that one. All right, this next one speaks to me. This is Tony Hawk Land, the first 900. Monumental, stunt defying stuff. I initially jumped to Jeff Hardy doing a swanton off, something crazy, off whether it be like the structure or a Hell in a Cell or not Hell in a Cell, steel cage or something like that. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to think of like something specific, but that's the trail I'm leading.
His leap at WrestleMania 2000 off the ladder onto Bubba.
Oh, through the tables? Yeah. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Ooh, maybe the Undertaker throwing Mankind off the cell. That's like that. A lot of people call that like that's like kind of what kicked off maybe like a more hardcore or death-defying sort of wrestling.
Yeah, the revolution.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're just both goats, but maybe Ray, and then of course the 3-digit number 619. Ray's first 619.
Love that too. Yeah. Love that too. The first time he did it in WWE commentary, called it the 619. I think it was Taz calling it. The 619.
Oh, good shout. Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Oh, what a great few. I'm trying to think of what. There's got to be one more. I don't know. Ultimate Warrior jumped off something crazy. I'm sure there's like old school stuff that we're not thinking of too. I would even say like the first time someone hit like a 450 splash. Or give me, it's so specific, I'm gonna get the number wrong, but it was one of the first times Vikingo was on AEW, and he hit this just like crazy, like, I don't know, it was like 2 360s through a table or something like that. Just a crazy stunt. So something like that. I think what that's lacking is like the monumental old schoolness of like Tony Hawk doing it the first, but it was still like maybe the first of its kind. I don't know.
Maybe if he actually hit it, but Brock doing the shooting star press, but he didn't land it.
If he hit it, it would have been, yeah. All right, so next one, we're gonna do a little rapid fire round. This person submitted 3. I think we kind of got some rapid fire answers for this. Grim Reaper, I think, is pretty easy. Undertaker, right?
Yeah, easily. Or if you want to be kind of point to Triple H's shovel, maybe Triple H and burying people.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This is, the Firefly Funhouse was basically a not a rip, but a paying homage, a reference, I think is the better word, to Mr. Rogers. Yep. Inspired. So I'm gonna go Firefly Funhouse when he's like doing that, when it was like the beginning and he's all happy, whatever. And then that leads into Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if you know what that is.
So the dolls?
The puppets with the creepy internet thing.
I want to watch it, but I'm scared to watch it.
It's wild. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It's one of my favorite things on the internet. Really? I'm so tapped in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
So for that also just lends me to the other side of the Firefly Funhouse when it gets all scary and dark and all of a sudden takes a twist and all the puppets are scary.
And you have very innocent characters.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of, I think Mr. Rogers and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared are kind of the two sides of the Firefly Funhouse.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood too. I don't want to go to the classic Firefly for both answers. Yep, so let me go kind of like nice Bob Backlund.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a great one.
Kind of goody two shoes.
That's a good one. All right, last one of the day is when La La Land was accidentally announced for the Best Picture winner in the Oscars when it was actually Moonlight that won. I was going back and forth with this. I think, a lot of this is like, who was accidentally called the champion? Like what kind of finish was botched and they had to scrap it or whatever. I instantly jumped to when Dusty Rhodes won the WWE Championship and they took it away from him.
Oh,
no, you didn't win. They took the title and then he never won the title, Oscar being the world title. Blah, blah.
Very nice. That's
what I'm going with.
Okay. I believe it was like 99 or 2000. It was Chris Jericho versus Triple H. And they did the kind of, it was a very similar thing where Chris Jericho got a pinfall victory over Triple H for the WWE title on Raw, but there was a very fast count. Earl Hebner, and then Triple H bullied him into reversing the decision. And then, of course, Chris Jericho in the record books did not go down as the WWE champion that night, but and then the title went right back to Triple H. So maybe that's my equivalent.
One of my favorite, kind of in relation to that sort of thing, not the exact same thing, but one of my favorite wrestling stories of all time is the Cody Rhodes Ted Jr. story, where like the climax is like Ted Jr. going, that referee was trying to fuck on me.
Yep.
So that's kind of maybe not the same thinking, but I don't know why.
Or maybe too for like an actual mishap, like, you know, in reality.
There was definitely instances.
The Rock and Big Show Royal Rumble 2000, where The Rock went to go eliminate the Big Show, but in actuality, The Rock's feet touched the floor first. They end up making it a storyline, but yeah. So maybe that.
All right, folks, that's the video. Please let us know what you think about this. Let us know what you want to see more of. Give us some suggestions in the comments. We'd really appreciate it. Please make sure you subscribe, leave your likes. Patreon.com/Stache for a bonus wrestling Q&A podcast. Merchandise, Fanatics affiliate link. You get it. False and everything. We'll get out of here. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.